Honey, I'm going out. I'll be back in a couple hours.
You play Farmville and call yourself a gamer.
You said awesome, and I said I hate it.
Okay, so here we go. This is where the extended knowledge comes in.
Don't mind me. I'm just staring at a wall somewhere.
Can anyone afford Benedict Cumberbatch?
That's surprising.
I don't think a human could make those sounds.
Yeah, well, you can do it though, can't you?
Yeah, okay.
Hi, I'm Dean.
And I am Paul, and welcome to a very special episode of Nerds Before Birds. It's a podcast where you will find reviews, rankings, discussion, and angry, snarky comments on all things pop culture.
Mostly angry, snarky comments.
Like 80% snark,
Yeah.
20% nerd at this point. This week,
Pretty much.
special episode. We are recording this Wednesday, the 24th of April. Dean and I have just gone to see Avengers Endgame. Mm-hmm. So this is a
Two
podcast.
of the three members
The
of
most
Nerds
committed
Before.
ones.
The most committed of...
The funny ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The ones that you pay to watch.
The ones
Listen
that don't
to.
talk about movies pre-1980.
Yeah,
ours.
that's right. The young ones, the young blood. It's
The young blood, that's it, yeah. The under 30s crew. The A-team, we call ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. The in the prime members.
All
right.
Jason is going to regret having... Oh, on
We should
that
explain
note,
that. Yes.
We are, obviously we're talking about Endgame. Jason did have... he had his whole sort of day set up. He would be joining us. But just as Thanos can click his fingers and kill half the life in the universe, Jason has the capacity to create more life. And he has just had his second child, which is why he's not here. He's being a good father. And he'll see the movie tonight. But from the two of the three committed members, congratulations to Jason and his wife.
Well done.
For the healthy deliverance of their child.
Basically, Avengers
great.
Endgame isn't the best thing that happened this week on the Nerds Before Birds front. Well,
In terms of things that impact me, it was. But I'm happy for him.
no, fair enough. Yeah.
So, we're doing Endgame.
We are.
This podcast will be out today. So if you're
Yes.
listening to it today, congratulations. I've just realized that today is a very relative term. So enjoy it. Enjoy it today.
So,
Look,
should we give should we carbon date this thing? Should we give an exact date?
I've done it. I said that already.
24th of April.
24th of April.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done that.
Well, is that what you mean by today?
We'll go, yes.
Okay.
We'll go loosely. Dean, just general thoughts. How do you feel right now?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I am just full of emotions right now. On the one hand, I am sad that we've come to an end of an era, and
Yes.
in a big way.
11 years.
There were a couple of tears in a couple of moments, I got to say.
Absolutely.
And
get to
far out, hit the feels, but
This will be spoiler free for a few minutes.
It will be.
But we will warn you heavily
Oh my gosh.
when we get into that. We don't want
Yeah.
to spoil anything. You need to go along this ride on your own. So
for sure. But yeah,
if you
so
haven't
sad.
seen it, stop listening.
Yeah, what are you
Please.
doing?
What are you doing?
go.
Also, why are you
Yeah.
listening? Just in general. Why?
Is it just because you don't have to pay to listen to it? Because you should. You can.
Sure.
You can.
We'll
But
get to that later.
Yeah, we will. But
Sorry,
look,
then carry on.
yeah, full of emotions. Really sad that it's the end of the era, but it was just so freaking satisfying. So amazingly satisfying.
So good, man.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. And most of our theories were pretty wrong, but it doesn't matter.
Most of our theories are wrong. Someone bloody wasn't.
Someone
were they?
bloody wasn't.
Someone might have hit the nail right on the head, but we're going to get to that one later.
Well-
Because again, spoilers.
Look, all I can say is at the end of the day, I'm happy it went the way it went.
Me too.
And I feel like it was the only way it could have gone.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I'm very satisfied, very happy. I'm probably going to go see it again either tonight or tomorrow night.
Tonight?
Yeah. Seeing it
Tonight,
tonight.
that's commitment, man.
Hopefully. Because it is a good movie. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
Indescribable is how I would describe this movie. You can't
Okay.
review just this movie. This movie I think people are going to get different levels of enjoyment. I loved it. I've been on the MCU train since Iron Man, or since like the Eric Banner Iron Hulk, but we'll ignore that.
For sure. Well,
And
these
I think-
movies do, so, you know.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
And I think going through that 11-year journey, you know the heroes, you know the villains, you know the struggles, you know all the stories, you know everything. It makes this movie so much better.
Definitely.
And I can't fault it. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking. I had a 20-minute discussion with my housemate post-movie, and we're both like, we can't. I mean, what is there to fault? It was just amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of like, people know, like, the people making these movies know that, you know, most people have seen the majority of the MC movies. I was talking to my dad just this Arvo after I went to see it. And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to go see it next week. And I was like, oh, cool. Have you seen the other ones? He's like, oh, no, not really. He's like, have you seen Infinity War? I was like,
Yeah.
no, I haven't. Should I see that one? He's like, you should see Infinity War.
They've got a week.
For sure. And I was like,
Plenty of
okay,
time.
now if you want to properly enjoy it, you need to see at least 5 movies, which are, like, in my opinion, Iron Man, Winter Soldier, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the 5 that you probably need to see most,
Yep.
Iron Man, first
Yes.
one,
Yes.
first Avengers,
Of course.
Winter Soldier,
Yes.
Civil War,
Absolutely.
and Infinity War.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
I'd
like
agree.
they're the kind of the 5 core films in the MCU that you should see before seeing this movie.
What about Captain Marvel?
That's a good point. And then what about Black Panther? And what about Ant-Man? It's like, so really, if you want to enjoy this movie to its
Ant-Man and the
fullest,
Wasp.
watch
Just
all the other ones
movies.
before. Well, you gotta
Watch
have
them all.
watched all of them, really. And that's the
yeah.
thing, like, it's a big commitment, but most of us have been on the train since the start.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's
Yeah,
the thing. And that's where it's like, for us, it's been a 10-year journey.
Yeah.
And it's come to a great finale
Just
with this
a
one.
stellar finish.
Fantastic.
I am happy. There was a thing that I read, and they were like, there were 2 huge things. Well, actually, there's 3 that I've realized now, but what I read was only talking about 2. And they were like, we've got Game of Thrones coming to the end this year, and
Yes.
we've got the big chunk of Marvel coming to an end. And they're like, now, of the 2, which one do you think is going to has more of a chance to disappoint you for the ending? And everyone's like, well, we think Game of Thrones is going to be done very, very well. There's a high chance that Avengers will sort of be like a little bit undertold or underdone, and I
Really?
think that's completely wrong.
Yeah. I
Well, I
think
haven't seen the end of Game of Thrones. They can both
This
be
is-
right. We could just get 2 stellar franchises.
maybe. And maybe, yeah, like maybe Game of Thrones' finale is a little bit better. We don't know that yet. But
We don't know.
This
Doubt
this
it.
was incredible. I seriously doubt it can top the incredible finale that this was. It was
That's
just so satisfying on so many levels and so
Yep.
many great callbacks that
Yeah,
we will
get
get into them for
Yeah,
sure.
all right. Should we?
I think we should. I
Okay,
think
so
we've-
here we go, everyone.
Cool.
8 minutes. Dean and I are staggered by how good this movie
Like,
is.
I'm just bursting. I need to get into
We're going
talking
to.
about specifics. So
If you haven't seen it, please, and I know everyone's going to say this, but legit, please stop the podcast. Go and see the movie. Come back and listen to it. And I promise you that will give you more enjoyment for this podcast. Lol. But more enjoyment for the movie itself. So that is your warning. We are getting into it right now. Here we go. So, Dean,
okay,
first question. This is the biggest question I can ask you, okay? Did you have to go to the toilet?
I didn't.
Hey!
Oh, well, I kind of. Okay.
Oh.
It's a bit of it. I thought I did it okay. I thought, right, like the last kind of like, no, because I was sitting in the cinema and I was like, okay, the trailers are now playing. And
Yep.
I thought, like, okay, I'm going to time it perfectly. So I'm going to race to the bathroom, come back,
Yep.
and sit down, and the movie's going to start.
Yep.
I didn't quite do it that well.
How much did you miss?
About a minute? No, not quite a minute, because I don't know how long that first scene starts. But here we go, because, okay, we're getting into spoilers.
We
I
begin.
came back.
Here we go.
I came back whilst Hawkeye was teaching her daughter archery.
Yep.
And
His daughter.
Yeah,
But yeah,
his,
it's fine.
what did I say?
Her daughter.
Oh, yeah. I came back. Yeah, you know what I mean. When Hawkeye was teaching his daughter archery, and
Yep.
she fires an arrow, and then he turns around and everyone's disappeared.
You
And
missed
then apparently I missed them talk about hot dogs, and that was about it.
There's a whole discussion about whether you want mayo on a hot dog.
Yeah. So I figure like, okay, I missed that. I feel like that what I missed was just them trying to set up that it was
You meet
Hawkeye,
his kids.
Meet his kids, and they're regular people having a regular conversation.
He's on house
Kinda.
arrest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So all that
then-
kind of. So I missed like the tiniest fraction at the start. I was like the tiniest zest off my lemon.
You really didn't miss anything.
So that
It's
was
not
it.
like me going to the toilet in Captain Marvel when the plot is revealed. So woo.
Oh, that's
remember that?
right. Yes. Yeah.
When the Krull? No.
Skrull.
Whatever.
Yeah.
When they were like, no, we're really not evil. And you're like, oh, I missed that.
You missed that, but then you saw the costume color change. Whereas I had it the other way around, so I enjoyed that more than you guys did.
I think you won.
I think I did too. I was like Thanos.
Well, lead us off, mate. Let's go.
Okay, so yeah, on the back of that devastating
Yes.
first scene with Hawkeye,
We see them, the snap, family's gone. All of them.
basically everyone's been hit hard by Thanos' destruction, by
Yep.
Thanos' snap, but no one's been hit as hard as Hawkeye has, and it was really
I mean,
sad. Well,
I wouldn't go that far.
okay, so
Rocket,
maybe Thor, but
Thor, Rocket.
yeah, Rocket, but like this is legit, you know,
This was gut wrenching.
This
was
was,
a horrible
you know,
way to start the movie.
like family by blood,
Yep.
children. Yeah, that's hard hitting
Dead.
stuff. So he's in, obviously sets him up to be in a dark place later on.
Just a bit.
We then cut to Tony Stark adrift in space with Nebula.
Yes.
They seem to be bonding as much as you can with
on the Benatar.
which is pretty funny. Like that whole bonding thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
when they're playing that
congratulations,
little
you won.
Triangle football. It's like,
Yeah.
you have won.
And it's like,
oh.
there you go, we're having fun. It's like,
would
it
like
was
to play
fun.
again.
It was fun.
It was fun.
So funny. That was hilarious. I love
Yeah.
these kind of like scenes where it's just like a complete clash of worlds, and the way that the Russos are just really good at playing the
Oh, yeah.
best aspects of characters off each other. And
Yes.
again, this was happening here with Stark and Nebula, I thought.
Perfect, yeah.
That was really nice. It's pretty dark, Stark, dire circumstances, which we saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
The first trailer, and you think, oh, he's going to die adrift in space. And then Captain Marvel shows up and saves.
She shows up.
Yeah. Which then also, that was a bit of surprise for me as well. What did you think? Because I kind of thought that the end credit scene of Captain Marvel was going to be in this movie. It was a cut scene.
They just were like, she's on Earth, and
Yeah.
then they send her out.
Exactly.
Because when she got back, they weren't. What surprised them the most was that she brought the Benatar back and Nebula and Stark, and not, who the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like what's happened in the space of that, she's been called back to Earth by the Nick Fury thing, and they've told her what's happened, and then she's gone out and found Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then brought him back.
Because even like Rocket, everyone's just like, well, last we saw of them, they were on Titan.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and
it's
and
there for a bit.
I'm guessing that possibly Pepper Potts heard the radio, that whole thing. Like
I don't think that was a radio.
No?
He was just recording them on the headset, on the
True.
helmet, if someone found them. But then again, in Iron Man 3, he did a few of those, and it was stored on a server, or it was stored somewhere.
Exactly.
And when she put the other helmet on, she got the message.
That's what I thought. So maybe that came into play. Maybe that helped him. Maybe Rocket just, had some way to track the Benatar.
Tracking beacon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way,
Maybe Stark
Obviously-
had one. The armor.
yeah,
Maybe just had a tracking beacon built
that's
in.
true, actually. Either
Not
way,
important.
anyway,
She
Captain
finds
Marvel has found him, brings him back.
Yep.
Doesn't seem like a big deal to anyone as much, but Stark's back. That's the big deal.
They're just stoked. They're like, Potts,
Mm-hmm. Well,
we find out Potts is alive.
found out-
and she's
yep.
so happy.
So
that
happy.
he's
One
home.
person that's not happy
Ugh.
is Tony Stark. He's in a pretty dark place when
He's
they
pretty
come.
pissed off.
Pretty pissed off. Very pissed off. And then obviously this is the first time Cap and Iron Man have been in a room together since Civil War, which is a big deal.
And it's not the bromance we thought it was going to be.
No,
It is.
there's still a lot of lingering
I think it's all to
issues.
Stark. Stark is just sick of him. He's like, we're going to do this together. Where were you? You weren't there. There's no together. There's no whatever. There's no trust.
Yeah. He's still there's still some bitterness towards Cap for,
Yes.
everything, because obviously Stark's in a bad place initially, but
Even
he is
physically
fully.
as well.
Yeah.
It looked like he'd
Very skinny,
really
eh?
do it. But yeah, it kind of looked like Matt Damon at the end of The Martian.
Now, what do you reckon? Was that that wouldn't have been Downey Jr. pulling, like, you know, taking off heaps of weight. That would have had to be some sort of effects work, right?
Maybe effects work, or maybe they just dressed him in baggy clothes.
Yeah.
To make him
maybe
look smaller than he was.
Or maybe they didn't.
Are you going to say the Steve Rogers thing?
I was going to say Steve
actor?
Rogers, or the thing that they did to, what's his name, Peter in the Hunger Games movie. You haven't seen the Hunger Games movie?
I saw the first one. It was all right.
Fair enough. I can't blame you for
It
that.
wasn't violent enough.
People weren't hungry enough.
That's right.
Anyway,
wasn't that many games.
you can cut that joke if you want.
No, hell no, dude. It's staying in. That was a great one.
Anyway,
Give me more.
what happens next?
What happens next? They have a little discussion. They're like, we failed. It is bad. We need to kill him. Stark just flips out. He trusts no one. He sort of collapses. And then they start talking about what they can do. Where is Thanos? And Rogers comes out and says he just made a portal. He got out of there. We don't know where to find him. This is when Nebula pipes in and says that over the years, as they were, conquesting for Thanos, he told her where they're going to go. And they sort of zoom in on that planet. They do a sort of deep space scan. And when Thanos clicked his fingers, there was a massive amount of energy that exploded off Earth. And this exact same type of energy was seen on this planet as well.
I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's like an energy disperse. Whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
So they're like, okay, stuff it. Let's go. So they gear up. They fix the Benatar. And they do one of those really awesome... like the jumps. The jumps look cool in this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love how we lingered on Cap's eye for this whole thing. It felt, remember that? As they're because
when
the
they're
whole
going
question,
through
is
the
like,
jump?
a question, who hasn't been to space? And then everyone's like, it's like, don't throw up. And then because Cap, obviously, this is the furthest thing from his whole history backstory.
You look at the scene in the first Avengers and it's like Thor and Captain and Iron Man Thor and Loki are fighting and he goes to stop him and they're like, you're basically dealing with gods here, Cap. It's like, no, there's only one god, man, but he doesn't dress like that.
Exactly.
And now he's teleporting across the galaxy.
And I felt like it was a real nice nod to, 2001 A Space Odyssey, crazy time vortex, space travel stuff. It looked cool. And I was like,
great.
oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was a nice, unique take on hyperspace jumps.
Yeah,
and it doesn't stuff around in space. Like, we're there.
Yeah, for sure.
So once they get there, Captain Marvel jumps out of the ship. She's like, I'm just going to go and do a quick scan. She's like, no army, no ground assault, no nothing. It's just him. And then we see Thanos.
Fantastic.
His whole right side is really badly burnt and destroyed. Yeah. He's kind of cooking. He's adding a pinch of salt to something, which is lovely. And then, all of a sudden, he gets smashed in the face by Captain Marvel, and then the Hulkbuster suit comes out of nowhere and grabs him, and War Machine grabs him. He just gets assaulted by the Avengers.
Surprise attack.
Surprise attack by the Avengers.
I love this kind of stuff where it's like...
It gets dark.
Everyone is really... they have serious... serious history, they've got serious bad blood with Thanos, and they're very angry, and they're working together as a team very well.
That's it.
And
so they do that. They're like, where are the stones? And he says, I've destroyed the stones.
Yeah.
Like, but we saw an energy signature, and he's like, I used the stones to destroy the stones. And after that, out of nowhere, mid-conversation with Thanos, Thor, just sick of it, cuts his head off, kills Thanos straight away.
I really loved, because you know how everyone had this theory, everyone kind of from piecing together all the
Ant-Man
stuff
was going to go in his blood.
No, we're not going to talk about that theory.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
No, the theory, from all the theories from piecing together bits and pieces from the trailers, studying Black Widow's hair, colors and all that, everyone figured, okay, so there's part that starts, part of it's directly after Infinity War, and then there's got to be some sort of time jump. And so everyone's thinking, they must have one battle with Thanos at the start, but then they lose that battle with him and then they have to regroup. No, they actually kill Thanos.
They kill him.
They kill him.
Yep.
And then, but the bigger devastating thing, apart, the thing that is more devastating than losing at the hands of Thanos for a second time is realizing that there is no way to reverse what Thanos has done.
The stones are gone.
The stones are gone. And that totally sets up perfectly why everyone ends up in a pretty dark place for the next 5 years. And there's the time jump where everything seems hopeless.
That is it. After they kill him, 5 years later, there's lots of shots of New York, San Francisco, blah,
Otherwise,
blah, and
they would have kept going. They would have kept trying different things. But it's like, no, we have no way to get back to do anything.
That's right.
So yeah, pretty crazy, pretty sad. Flash forward.
Hell of an opening.
So yeah, crazy opening. That is the opening of this movie.
That's it.
And then, 5 years later, we find everyone trying to move on with their lives as best they can, with the consequences of Thanos' actions really like fully realized. So what do we have? We have Cap with a nice nod back to Winter Soldier, the first of many nods to Winter Soldier.
Quite a few. Yes.
Yep. So he's taking up Falcon's mantle by having the therapy session, like he's running the counseling group. Trying to get, people back on their feet.
Yeah, he's like, we have to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We got Widow in charge of the Avengers now.
She's holding
central
fort.
comms. Mm-hmm. She's having a hologram discussion with all the members. Danvers is covering a lot of territory. She's across thousands of planets.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there?
Such a weird ragtag group, this new Avengers.
It was
Hey,
weird.
it's like what's left of the Avengers.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got Nebula, a raccoon,
War Machine,
and
what was the girl from Black Panther? I forget her name.
Far out. Okoye? No, not Okoye. That was the other one.
Hang on, I'll look it up.
Cool. I mean, I'm just trying to remember. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm really good at that. You can't remember it? We can move on.
I saw that movie once.
That's right. Have you watched it again yet? No. You said you were going to.
I was going to, but then I was like, you know what? There's heaps of other better stuff I can watch.
Okay, it is okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okoye.
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 Okoye or Okoye?
It's spelled Okoye. I believe it's pronounced Okoye.
Okoye.
Okoye. Okoye. Okoye.
Anyway,
do not.
There. Good on her.
Yep. Basically, everyone's trying to hold the fort as much as they can without, the actual Avengers around anymore.
That's right.
What else is happening?
We hear everyone leaves. Widow's like, look, if anyone's causing trouble, it goes through me, blah, blah, blah. Everyone signs off, except for Rhodey. Rhodey's got some news. He is in Mexico. Or Mexico? He's in Mexico, and they found a room full of bodies, and it's just absolute carnage. And he then says the little line that this was Barton's work. So it's a good hint that Clint now, Ronan, is just... He's doing some stuff. He's doing a lot of killing.
He's in a bad place.
Yeah,
really bad place.
wants him back. So she says, "Please get him to me." And then from there, we cut back to Steve and her have a nice moment. It's good, but then we cut back to San Francisco. We see the gross brown van that belonged to the Langs sitting in a storage container, or sitting in a storage fence.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it just starts to light up.
I love this. This is great because it's like we all had our theories of how he got out. No one actually expected that it was because a rat crawled over the keyboard.
Is that what happened? I just thought it was timing.
No. I feel like it was, I feel like that rat flicked a switch.
So dumb.
that's what pulled him back out.
So. Well, funny. I didn't see that. That's annoying.
Yeah.
But he flicks the switch. The quantum gate is open, and out spews Scott Lang.
Woohoo!
Yep. 5 years later, Scotty boy.
And he is clearly very confused because it was only 5 hours for him, wasn't it?
That's right. 5 hours later, he comes back and
it's 5 years later.
In hell.
And man. Because, obviously, first of all, he pieces together what's happened in the past 5 years.
Does he? I don't think he does. No one tells him.
No, but he does because he goes to the memorial first.
But he wouldn't know anything about Thanos. He wouldn't know it.
No, he doesn't.
All of a sudden, it's like, there's a ton of people dead.
But he knows, he knows that a lot of people have died. He knows something big. He doesn't know what the result, like what made it happen, but
No.
he knows, he pieces together that half the world's population are gone. And he's trying to make sure that his daughter's still alive, Cassie.
Which she is.
She is, but she is a lot older.
She's 5 years older.
Far out.
Which would be
what an
just wild.
emotional reuniting.
That was really lovely.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I hope this is as emotional as this movie gets. I can't take any more of this stuff. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
It gets pretty full on.
Significantly darker.
Significantly more emotional.
Yeah. So they go to he goes to Avengers HQ. Mm-hmm. We see that scene from the trailer where it was like, hey, it's me, Ant-Man. So he comes inside and they start talking, and he starts saying, he's talking about quantum mechanics and how he thinks that if they can manipulate the time stream or something, that he can go in to the quantum realm but come out in a different time.
It's a bit of a
proposing time travel.
Yeah, it's a bit of a far-fetched idea.
Very.
Bit of a pipe dream, but that's all they have to work with.
That's all they have.
Literally, like any chance, because clearly neither Black Widow or Cap want to move on. They can't accept what's happened.
No, they need to do something.
They need to do something, and so they will take this tiny bit of hope. And who do they take it to?
They take it to the one and only Tony Stark.
Yes.
We cut to Tony. He has a beautiful house. We see him start talking to his daughter Morgan, which, wow, they had great chemistry.
The Stark and Downey Jr. and the daughter. Oh, man.
Morgan.
I was like, I was pretty impressed with that, eh?
It was really good.
I fully bought that it was actually his kid.
I'd buy it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was so... And also, this is another great reference to all the way back to the very, very first Iron Man film, where it kind of... Now, do you remember the conversation that he has with... what's his name in the cave? Basically...
Yeah.
It's all about setting up that that Iron Man has money, has fame, has all that, but has never had a family. Like Jensen, the Dr. Jensen.
Thank you.
Jensen was talking about his family. So, and it's like, oh, what about you? You have family, wife, child? And it's like, yeah, nothing. It's like, so Tony Stark has it all, but the one thing that matters most kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we fast forward 10 years later.
And now he does.
That's what he has. And now he has everything to lose kind of thing. It's the culmination of his whole story of realizing where, his heart truly needs to lie, what's really important in life.
Yeah.
Which is
and
great.
They bring him this option of time travel, which he instantly understands, and he's like, yeah, cool, I get it, but I'm not doing it.
He doesn't want to do it.
Because
totally
one is like
understandable.
the science isn't there, and he's like, I can't roll the dice on what I have because he still has Pepper. He now has a daughter. He has everything that he wants. Well, everything that he wants. He's in a very good place.
He came out lucky.
Even he says to Cap, he's like, I'm happy to see you, honestly, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And more because he's realized what's important, and he's scared that if he goes through this, he will lose that. And that is fair enough. That is a big play. But then obviously he can't stop thinking about about it, because deep down he knows that...
Well, we come back to that, what he does next, don't we? Mm-hmm. Because there's another mind they can go to.
We should, talk about that first. We should.
So after Stark turns him down, you want to do this one?
Yeah. We go to the big guy.
Literally, they need a bigger brain.
Yes, the bigger brain. Oh, this was so funny. And this was the first real big surprise for me, I thought.
Aside from Thanos getting beheaded.
Yeah, okay, that was a big surprise. But this is the funny surprise. This was because we thought there was a rumor that Smart Hulk would show up. That Big Banner would be part of this. I did not expect him to be in this form the entire movie, pretty much.
Yeah, Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk is here, and he's clear, and he's gonna be here for the rest of the movie. I had nothing, but basically, he's found a way to combine the best parts of Banner and Hulk into the one person.
No,
He's come to
Professor
terms
Hulk.
with Professor Hulk.
love
So
it.
somewhere off screen, which is a little bit of a shame that we didn't get to see it, but I kind of understand why we didn't. But somewhere he's come to terms with the Hulk as a person, as an entity. He's no longer trying to push him away, and he's somehow, figured out how to combine the two personas into the one. And so he's very smart and very strong, big and green, and wearing clothes. And it's hilarious.
He's like, yeah, I'm wearing shirts now. You're like,
Yeah, I know. Right? I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing
so
shirts.
good.
And he's taking selfies with kids. It's hilarious. It's fantastic. Anyway, it's not his field, but he's willing to give it a good hard go.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So then, does he try? Did they do the testing? No. So
We go
then
back to
cut
Stark.
back to Stark.
Yeah.
yeah. Stark has got a Friday on like a holographic model in his table, whatever. He starts running simulations. He's like, "Look, we're just gonna have a little look at this and whatever." He's like, "I don't even care." And he runs simulation on how to make the time travel through the quantum realm. Wow, quantum realm. Wow, I went through the quantum realm.
Yep.
The quantum realm.
Got
and
it.
he
Well
makes
done.
it work.
Yes.
And his very first simulation, even he's like, if it doesn't work, whatever, I don't care, it's fine. And it works.
So good.
And
yeah.
he freaks out. He says some stuff that his daughter overhears. I love that whole interaction with those two.
So good.
That was so funny.
I think maybe just as a parent, having like having a daughter, I totally fully connected with all these moments so much. I loved it. I was like, oh yeah, I can totally picture myself having these conversations with my daughter, not whilst solving time travel probably, but
That's funny.
yeah, it was so good. I loved it, connected with it. Yeah, it's like don't repeat that. Your mum said that. That's all.
That's it. You can say all the nice things all you want, and then you say one bad word once, and that's all I can say.
That is true. That is true. They pick up things too
yeah.
crazy, too well. Anyway,
So funny.
very
But
funny.
yeah, he has figured it out. He talks to Pepper and he's like, I've figured out how we can do this. And he's like, I've got a second chance. And Pepper's sort of the voice of reason in this moment. She's like, a lot of people lost things. He's like, say the word, I'll put a pin in it, I'll put it in a lockbox and put it at the bottom of the lake, blah, blah, blah. And we'll just go to bed. I'll go and rest. And then she said, would you
actually be able to sleep? Yeah.
Would you be able to rest knowing that you can make a difference?
And this was one of those, again, another moment where I was like, the Russos are great at scripting these moments and clearly knew that this was the way that it had to go. Like it had to be Pepper sending Stark off at this point, being the voice of reason. Imagine if it was around the other way and Pepper was in the same kind of, I want you to stop being Iron Man kind of opinions from like the last movie even, then, that would be like, we'd want Stark to stay kind of thing. But it's like, it's Pepper saying, no, you have to go do this. You have to do this.
Well, she's not even, she's doing that thing that women do. And it's not an insult, but it's like, you have made up your mind and they just say that one sentence and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
This is like, I know I've made up my mind, but I don't want to do that kind of thing. Yeah. Like I know what I have to do, but I just really don't want to. It's like, no, you need to. And I feel like at the other side of things is like, he's wanting to do it for like, he's not wanting to do this because of Pepper and his daughter, and having that kind of like having Pepper say, you must do this is like, that's the point where like he can't not do it now.
Having the thing that he's protecting tell him that he needs to do this is
exactly.
It's like, well, bugger.
Yeah. It's like, damn. Or even just like, no, I know you. I know that you need to do this. I know that.
You're
like,
not going to stop thinking about it.
We like, even though I want to have peace and sit down and, be just together, like we won't actually have that unless you go and do this. And that is totally true. Yeah. And Stark knows this. And we're just about to hit the 1 hour mark, I think, in the 3 hour movie.
For what?
think,
Oh, was that only an hour?
I feel like that was the full hour. That was the first hour. This is still the first act in a lot of
Setting
ways.
up for the time heist.
Yes. Which is
So
man.
we got that's what Scott Lang kept phrasing it as. He's like, so we're
Time
gonna do
heist.
time heist.
I love the callbacks to
so
all the
good.
odd movies. Like, please tell me that your understanding of time travel does not just come from Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's like, oh, good, because I thought that's where it's coming from. So
It's
good.
like, so what? Back to the Future is just a bunch of bullcrap. Yes.
I love those moments.
What happens? What happens after that? After
So then
Tony figures it out.
we cut back to what's happening with Banner,
Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk, yep, and Cap. Basically, what the Avengers are trying to do without Stark, they're trying to still do the quantum thing, still go through, and they're doing some tests with Ant-Man, which are absolutely hilarious.
Oh my goodness, he
Sends him
doesn't
back-
figure it out.
No, they haven't figured it out.
Oh, kind of, but not really.
Sends him back in I believe it's the same PIM test suit that they're using from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
The quantum suit.
Yes.
That's what they're using with Ant-Man.
Yes.
At this point, sends him back back in time, brings him back 5 seconds later, and he's a little kid. It's like, oh crap, what's happened? And it's like, something's wrong. And sends him back again. It's like, quick, let's get him back. He's an old man.
Yep.
It's like, what is going on? He's like, oh, I don't know what I'm back. Sends it back, comes back as a baby.
As a baby.
As a baby.
And like he'll grow.
It's so funny. I love it. Everyone's like freaking out. It's like, oh, cut the power.
And
Finally
then they
gets
bring
him
him
back. And we have that funny pee line. It's like,
Yep.
somebody peed in my suit.
I don't know if it was old me or baby me or me.
or just me.
So during that
Brilliant.
time, Cap is out front, and up rocks Tony Stark, and he has some good little banter with Cap, and it's kind of it's a nice rebonding moment, and Tony's like, let me guess, he came back as a baby.
I love that. It's so good.
That's excellent, and he sort of says that.
Yeah, that
I
and a
figured
few
it out.
other things. Yeah.
I figured it out. So he tells him that, and he's like, we're going to need a team, aren't we? It's like, yes, we are. So they assemble a team.
Avengers assemble.
Yep. So what is
Again.
it? It's Banner and Rocket go to New Asgard
First of all, they bring in Nebula comes back, right?
in the ship.
Nebula and Rocket come back.
Yep.
War Machine rocks up. You
was
got
so
the whole
funny.
beware. There's an
There's
idiot
a
in your
Northern
landing
Indian on the
zone.
landing zone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the whole taco.
Hey,
joke.
regular sized
Brilliant.
person.
Yep.
As Banner walks by.
So they have the ship back. So Banner and Rocket rack over to Norway, right?
Is it Norway? Well, it was New Asgard.
Yeah, I feel like this is
It
Norway.
looks like Norway.
Yeah, it's fully set up, fully continuation on from what they set up in Ragnarok, right?
They didn't set anything up in Ragnarok.
Yeah, they did.
What?
Remember Odin sitting on the edge of the cliff saying this could be
okay.
New Asgard?
Well,
That whole thing.
he said it was New Asgard?
Yeah. It's like It's like that's why he's sitting there. It's like this is the place. I'm sure there's a line in there saying that basically Asgard is the people, and it's like this is the perfect place to be New Asgard. That's why he was sitting there meditating.
Did he say it? I thought he said this is just a nice place, and then he dies.
Yeah,
was a
no,
nice place
remember
for
the
his family.
flash? Remember when Thor's almost dying and he flashes and has the conversation with Odin at the end of the movie? That's where he's talking about that. Yeah, so he's saying this could be New Asgard, and so that's why I was like, okay, that's got to be Norway. That's.
I don't think he's saying that as this is New Asgard, but I think he's more like, Asgard are the people. This could be New Asgard if you wanted. I don't care. But then they take it literally, and it's New Asgard.
Exactly. Well, I feel like
Nice.
probably. But I feel like
Okay,
that's
good.
But also
That's good.
it's fitting because it's Norway. It's
Norway.
Vikings.
Oh, it's perfect for bloody
perfect.
Thor.
Exactly. That's why it's like really totally paying tribute to the origins of all this Thor mythology.
That's right.
Anyway.
All the Scandinavian mythos.
Exactly. So not pretty sure it's Norway. New Asgard.
Bugger it.
It's
Whatever.
pretty funny.
Yes, it's Norway.
Yeah.
The Hulk and Rocket go to Norway. They go to New Asgard, and they see Thor
And freaking
and Korg. And Meek.
And Valkyrie.
And that's really the main people that are left alive.
the team's
But
back to
it's epic.
It's so good.
Thor, however, He's
my
he's
gosh.
let himself go.
So we have
He
Big
is-
Banner and we also have Big Thor.
Big fat Thor. He is a chunky boy in this movie. I think that's the next surprise is that
Yes.
Thor is not all pecs and abs and jacked. He looks like, to me, he looks like Jeff Bridges' character from Big Lebowski.
Yes, it's perfect. I was like, that's the funny thing. I thought that he would totally get into shape by the end of the movie.
No,
But he-
I even love later on thing when he calls the Thunder down and he gets the Thor suit. The Thor suit is also just like a little
Quite
bit
chubby.
round around the tummy.
he's chubby Thor this whole time.
Was that's had to have been a suit? There's no way that
Yeah,
Hemsworth
that
lost
is-
that muscle mass.
Definitely not Hemsworth's actual body.
Thank goodness, because that man is an Adonis.
Absolutely. But that also means like he was in that fat suit the entirety
time.
of the movie.
The whole
Pretty much all like
time.
yeah, for the two of the 3 hours of this movie, he's in a fat suit. And it's some pretty I was kind of curious to know why they went down that road. But also I feel like it's also kind of paying tribute because let's be honest, the previous king of Asgard wasn't in the best shape, was he?
I mean, he was old though. He
Anthony
was like
Hopkins
60.
was pretty chubby.
Yeah, but he's old. He's not in the prime of his life still fighting.
This is true.
Kings get that way. Look at Robert Baratheon.
I feel like that's that's very true. But I feel like that's what they're kind of trying to show. Like he's clearly not in the prime of his life anymore.
Maybe,
He's-
but that doesn't
He's
really
becoming
go
a
with,
fat king of
But
Asgard.
that doesn't go. That doesn't go with what he does later.
This is true.
Yeah, I think it's just set up. The
Yeah.
old, you saw. We'll get to it, but you see where he ends up, and you think, oh, I can't wait for that.
No, you're actually right. You're 100%
Yeah.
right. Setting up for that payoff from
There'll be a moment.
Infinity War. Yep. That is a fair bit later on. Man, we need to breeze through this. There's so much
Yes.
stuff to
So,
talk about. So much to talk about.
Thunder round, so we can get to the last quarter.
Yeah.
So they convince Thor. Thor is in. They also go and get. Who else do they go and get? They go and get Ronan. They go to Tokyo, where
Yeah.
we see some masked guy with a sword, literally
Hawkeye.
killing everybody. He ain't Hawkeye anymore.
He
pal.
ain't.
And he kills this Yakuza leader guy, stabs him in the top of the head. It was awesome. That felt like one long shot for a good while. That was a
Yeah,
cool
that was
shot.
crazy. That was
liked
great.
it.
It was awesome.
And then Nat's there, and she's like, why are you doing this? Blah blah blah. Convinces him as well that we have hope. We have a chance to bring everyone back.
Well,
Will you join us? And he does.
If anyone is going to jump on to this tiny chance, it's going to be Hawkeye.
It's gonna be Hawkeye.
Clint.
Now we enter the phase where they discuss the time heist.
Oh man!
You want to give us a
And
quick
Yep.
summary of the time heist, Dean?
time heist. Okay, so they have a plan to get the Infinity Stones back from the past because they're now destroyed, and now they have to sit down and figure out and brainstorm where the best points in time would be to get the Infinity Stones. This was actually so good trying to figure it out and go through the history of all the movies.
Yeah.
Thor's getting emotional about Thor: The Dark World, which is quite
Only person ever.
only person ever. It's pretty funny.
But yeah.
They also, I believe, they test out the quantum suits as well.
Yes, they
Which is-
realize in the time heist, at least, they realize
Mm-hmm.
that at one point, 3 of the stones are in New York.
Yeah, that
at
was
the same time.
Pretty funny how they
And-
came up with that theory. It's like, oh wait, Doctor Strange lived in New York.
What,
Wait,
down at what, on Boulevard? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, what?
I love that this was the point where people realized how many Infinity Stones were on Earth at one point.
Even just how many Infinity Stones that bloody Loki had. He had
Yeah,
2 run at the same time.
He did, which is great. So then it was like, okay, sweet, we're definitely going back to first Avengers 2012 era.
Hell yes, which is all
Collecting
the
free
photos that
stones.
we've seen.
Yep.
What else?
And-
There was 2 of, hang on, 1, 2, 3.
There
3
were-
others floating out there, so they split into 4 teams?
3/4 teams, I think. It's a bit weird because one of the
Oh,
teams...
yeah, they're sort of in the same area.
Yeah. So one of the teams splits off once they get to like the first area.
That was
They
what,
kinda, like,
Nebula, War Machine.
Nebula,
Ronan,
War
and
Machine.
Widow.
Exactly.
Okay, so
What happened? So they And then the other team is Rocket and Thor going to Asgard.
To get the ether.
Yes.
Back when it
which isn't really a stone. It's more like an angry blob of
it's like an angry sludge.
Like an angry sludge. So somebody should correct that.
Yep.
Freaking
and
brilliant.
in that time, you hit the nail on the head. They start testing the quantum suits, the quantum theory, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They send Ronan back.
Yeah, because just in case we haven't had enough emotional, like scarring from Hawkeye's story, they send him back so that he almost briefly sees his his kids again. His family again. And then he pulls him back just before he gets that satisfaction.
Yep.
It's like, it's working, but we need to go now. We need to do this.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
So they have one...
Yes.
They have enough quantum juice for... I'm going to call it quantum juice. They have enough for one...
PIM particles.
Return trip PIM particles. Enough PIM particles for one return trip each.
And 2 test runs.
And one test run.
Now 1 test run.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Okay, so you want to go?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked a lot though. I don't want to keep.
Well, okay, fine.
You have a go.
Oh, yeah, I'll do up to when they, and then we can split up like the different stories if we want to do that.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
mind.
So we get that next shot where, like from the trailers, where they're all walking through the hangar in the white suits. We now figure out exactly what they are. They are the quantum realm suits.
And in the trailer, they've noticeably kept out Banner and Thor for obvious reasons.
They've kept
Thor
out
looks like a pile of trash, and Banner's
exactly.
huge.
They've kept out Professor Hulk and Fat Thor because
Frat Thor. Yep.
Hunker Hulk and Hunker Thor. All right.
Double IQ Banner and double cheeseburger Thor. That's hard to say now.
Oh wow.
All right.
Cool.
So what
all
happens?
right. So they all jump up on the quantum launch pad thing.
Nice.
Yep, I'm going to call it that.
Nailed it.
And they've got their missions. Cap gives an awesome pep talk because he's good at that. And, gets everyone encouraged. It's like, we got one chance, we can do this. Let's go. And off they go. And this is where the fun begins. Like literally. Oh, so many callbacks. So we jump back to 2012's Avengers. We actually get a couple of archive shots from the Avengers just to, to tell people where we're at. Plus a whole bunch of new footage. And I love it. This is where it gets really Back to the Future Part 2.
Was that
so good?
How did they do that? Did they just refilm a bunch of stuff?
So there's definitely shots from the first Avengers movie being used. Yes. And then, they've just done, like, whoever's continuity on this.
Amazing.
Freaking amazing. Yeah,
Absolutely
the continuity team, hats off. They have taken certain scenes and extended on them, particularly the last shot where they're surrounding Loki. You get to see the tail end of that scene after they're posing. I love like Stark's like, all right, let's arrest this guy. We can stand around posing later. Fantastic. And so so then future versions, or I should say present versions of these characters are looking around trying not to be seen in, in alleys and hallways.
Even the bit that you see Hulk like beat the ever living crap out of this one soldier.
Brilliant. Yeah.
To an unnecessary degree. Like he smashes him into the ground, hits him with a car, jumps on the car, throws a motorbike at the car, jumps on the car again and then jumps off. And then they're like, you're probably going to have to smash some stuff. And then Banner's it's derivative, but fine. And he takes his shirt off and you're like, the most unenthusiastic Hulk smash. Smash. He like punches the car a little bit and he tosses the bike.
They have to be in disguise. They've got the missions, but in case someone sees them, like
funny.
Cap's in his old suit. Everyone's walking around. Stark's in a shield uniform, I believe.
Well, he's got his thing. He's in the suit for a little bit.
Yeah. But so everyone's got their mission. Hulk runs off to Doctor Strange's to the Sanctum Sanctorum. I believe Cap is heading off to get the, at the time it was the Loki's staff. It's the Mind Stone. Yep. And Iron Man and Ant-Man are off to get the Tesseract.
Yes, which
That
is
is right.
the Space Stone?
The Space Stone. Yeah.
Yep.
So you're getting all 3 stones, and some pretty fun shenanigans happen along the way. You want to take it?
No.
Okay.
I was just going to say, I've got a question when you get to the Tesseract.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'm getting to that now.
Get in
So, Tesseract. Okay. Oh, I think I know what your question is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Stark and Ant-Man, they're going to get the Tesseract. They've got a great mission. Stark's going to intercept as a SHIELD agent while they're transporting Loki down to get handed over.
Yep.
And they've got a great plan. It seems to be working pretty well.
Very well.
Very well until Hulk, like past Hulk, who had to
Has to
take the
take the
stairs
stairs.
because he's...
See, that
that
whole
was
scene
brilliant.
had to be redone. Like, when
Yeah.
they're all in the elevator, they must have refilmed that.
Yeah, they did. They totally did.
I love it.
So everyone came back in their old costumes for
So
those
good.
scenes. So
Very well done.
And like Tom Hiddleston was back. You know, you had, because there were those shots in the building of Stark, of Downey Jr., Tom Hiddleston, Chris Hemsworth walking around
doing-
in their uniforms. Like,
course. That's
yeah.
right.
And this was what it was for. So yeah, they're doing the tail end of Avengers, like the first Avengers
Wrapping
movie.
up the first Avengers.
Yep,
Sort
it's
of.
fantastic. Literally everyone is back, and that's
It's
what's
so good.
amazing. So not just all the Avengers, but pretty much every side character from everyone but Vision is back in this movie.
Yeah, which is fine.
Even what's his name from Winter Soldier, Paul Newman. Is Paul Newman?
Yes. No. Yes.
Not
Yes, it was.
not
Robert
Paul
Redford?
Newman. Robert Redford, the
Yeah.
other guy. Yeah, yeah. Even Robert Redford is back in his Shield character. And you got the whole the strike team from Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
They're all back.
That scene.
That
We'll
was
get to
great.
it, but
Yeah,
That scene.
but basically, yeah. So they're about to grab the Tesseract. They've by basically giving
Tony a heart attack.
Yep. But Hulk comes out of the staircase and basically knocks Stark out.
Yep. Present day Tony.
Present day Tony doesn't quite get the Tesseract, and somebody else gets it.
Bloody Loki.
Loki grabs it and disappears. And
And
they've
now
lost.
here's my question. Mm-hmm. Where does he go?
That is a
they
great
don't talk
question.
about him. That's the last you see of him. He's
I've
gone.
thought about it for the last couple of hours. And would you like to hear my theory?
Let's go.
Okay. Well, it can go either two ways.
Give me one
because
of them.
time is
Or both
so
of them. I don't
weird.
care.
First one, probably most likely, that timeline doesn't exist anymore.
It's pretty cooked.
Yeah. So basically,
Oh, no. It absolutely exists.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
After they return the Infinity Stones back to when they were,
Yeah.
that timeline doesn't exist
it
anymore.
links up, doesn't it?
It links up. Yeah. See, so Loki never got his hands on the Tesseract, but does that
yeah.
mean that timeline is completely kaput, or are they going to? Time is weird. Maybe that version of Loki is floating around somewhere.
It gives them an in if they want to bring him back.
It does. It does. But
and people like Loki.
everyone loves Loki, and there's a Loki TV show happening. So,
Oh, that's probably why. There you go.
but it's about Kid Loki. So, but potentially it could be this, different version of Loki traveling around telling stories of his childhood. I don't know. So much things to speculate, but I'm pretty sure that timeline is kaput and
Yes.
just doesn't exist after they bring the time stones back. But anyway, that's that. I've thought about it. It's a bit confusing. What are your thoughts on it?
I have no idea.
Yeah?
I think he's out there. So I don't reckon he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's now back. Somehow.
Okay.
I really don't know.
That's the thing, because I kind of thought if he was back for good, now, if they're saying, okay, he's back, he would have shown up at the end or in an end credits scene or something maybe, but
Maybe they're just going to keep him as a surprise for number 4.
Maybe.
I reckon some specific people who will sort of be floating around in the galaxy whilst they're guarding it might come across him again.
I wonder.
And that
who
would
you're
be an
talking-
absolutely hilarious return.
Because I thought,
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we will get to that. We will.
Anyway.
Man,
So that happens.
That's a good
So that's
thought.
bad. Stark
That is
and
bad.
Ant-Man have failed.
They have failed. But who hasn't failed?
Let's
Do you
find
want to
out.
take that?
Okay, so Tony, flipping heck. Captain America. He's tasked with getting the scepter. The scepter's been given to obviously evil strike team, but they don't know that at the time.
I love Iron Man explaining the whole thing to Ant-Man. It's like, who are they? Oh, they're S.H.I.E.L.D. We're
S.H.I.E.L.D.
actually the
strike
Hydra,
team.
but we didn't know that at the point at this time.
It's like, how did you know that? They just ooze bad guy. So Cap
true.
meets them a few levels down in the elevator, and he walks in the elevator and he stands right in the middle of all of them, and it is so reminiscent of Winter Soldier.
good.
The scene where they're trying to arrest him.
I was like doing the whole tapping Rachel's leg, annoying her at this point. Like, do you know
Were
what
you
this
half
is?
expecting him to say, does anyone want to get out before this starts?
I thought that he was going to fully like just beat them up again. But then
instead he says that the secretary has told him
because
that he's going to he's
Oh.
going to take point on the scepter. And the other guy was like, lol, what? No, I'm going to have to clear this. And now this is, I love this line. This was such a cheeky little thing to do. Massive callback to the comics and the outrage that this caused. But just before leaving, the way that Rogers confirms that he's cool, man. You can give him the scepter as he leans into this guy and just says, Hail
Sitwell.
Hydra.
says it to Sitwell, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says, Hail Hydra.
Hail
And then
Hydra.
the next thing we know, he's got the scepter
He's got
and
the
he's out of
stuff.
there.
And everyone's like, oh, yeah, okay, he's on our side. So good on
loved it.
so many levels. Another
was so
callback, another unexpected callback to Winter Soldier, which from a lot of people, that is their favorite in the MCU.
Hell yeah.
And it's probably in most people's top 5, at least.
Yep.
And so I love that they...
It's getting harder, but yeah.
yeah, this is true. But yeah, I just loved it. I fully expected him to just like knock the crap out of everyone. But no, he
Nope.
he
chose diplomacy.
He chose diplomacy, even though it killed him inside to say those words. Oh
Yes.
man, it was just so satisfying.
Whatever
to
it
watch.
takes.
Even the fact that they used the same shots. Like they obviously set up the same shots. It was the same team from the elevator scene in the Winter Soldier. Call back
Excellent.
to like the best film at the best moment in one of the best movies.
Yeah.
I was
easily.
like, well done. So that's a success.
That's a success. It's an
They
iPhone
got one
success.
there. Who else succeeds?
Well, okay, let's go down that route then.
Mm-hmm.
We go to who is next? Is it the War Machine crew or is it?
I was going to talk
Widow
about
and
Hulk because he's like Hulk's success.
Hulk
yes,
goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum and starts talking to what's her name again?
she the ancient
Sorcerer
one,
Supreme.
isn't it? The ancient one.
She's not
Is
the
it
ancient one, isn't she? Oh, she's the ancient one. Yeah, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he starts talking to the ancient one who sees through his bullcrap straight away, and they start having a very real discussion about everything.
Yeah.
She is kind of aware of everything that's going on. He's looking for Stephen Strange, and she says, well, you're 5 years too early.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? She just knows everything. He's
'Cause
down
she's
the
got the
road
time
doing
stones.
surgery.
Yeah. So of course she knows the future. But
That's
again,
right.
and this is another awesome cameo that I didn't expect. That like they're bringing in not just all the Avengers, they're bringing in all your characters like from
All the support.
other movies, all the support characters
Yeah.
as well, which is
right.
great, and it's really awesome to see.
Yeah.
So, hello again, Tilda Swinton,
Hello.
and yeah,
They have
Bit
a
of-
very long discussion. I think they keep cutting back and forth to them in between the other guys who are just cocking up.
yeah,
They then, Banner then says to her that Strange gave Thanos the Time Stone and
Yeah.
why. And this takes her back because according to the Ancient One, Stephen Strange was meant to be the best of them.
Yes.
And for him to do that must have meant something very big, very big. And that is all the convincing she needs. Probably could have said that straight away. That's fine. She hands over the Time Stone to Hulk.
I like this as well because it was this conversation was kind of the first time where we got an actual proper explanation of what could go wrong, what the plan was, how
Yes.
they were going to, figure
They
everything
actually
out.
give a really good summary of
Yeah.
what the time travel in this world means.
Yeah. And it was like, this was the first time that time travel had been explained without, pop culture references or jokes thrown in. And so it was,
Plenty of them, don't worry. But
yeah, but it was fully boiled down to the simplest, and it's like let's make it clear exactly what the logistics of this kind of time travel is.
which you've
And,
got to
you
in
know-
comic books. You've really got to establish that boundary.
Yeah.
Otherwise, good lord.
What's gonna happen?
No
So
one's
now,
dead. It's all a lie. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
now we properly know the stakes. Now we properly know what the end game is.
Oh, sneaky.
And how they're going to keep the timelines from, I guess, imploding.
Yep.
And keep them, where they are. So, yep, the plan is to take the time stones, do the click in the future, and then bring them back.
That's right.
And keep the timeline secure and fixed. So that is the plan.
Yep.
And then, yep, as you said, Ancient One gets convinced that it's the only
Gives
way.
him the stone.
So we got 2 stones down.
Yep. Now, do we follow Stark and Steve for what they do next, or do we come back to them?
Let's come back to them.
All right. So then we go on to see it's Nebula, War Machine, and Ronan and Black Widow. See where they're up to.
Yes.
And they are dropping War Machine and Nebula off on the planet that we open on in Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going after the Power Stone that Peter Quill steals, and they're going to try and get to it just before Quill gets there. So they drop them off, and Nebula quickly says that there's a lot of people coming for this stone, so we need to hide.
And it's like, who are these lots of people?
That's right. Then we actually get a cut back to the other Nebula that's existing in this world. We see her fighting a lot of people. We see Gamora back fighting as well. They're both pretty heavily in Thanos' camp, and we finally see old school Thanos back in his day before the gauntlet, before the stones,
back in his prime.
And while they're having a chat, Nebula's head kind of freaks out a little bit, and she gets a hologram from her eye of the conversation that she just had with War Machine.
Yep.
And they're like, well, all right, well, let's take her back to the ship for some diagnostics. Let's see what the hell's going on. Then we see... Do we see Quill or do we see Widow? What's the next bit?
Well, let's stick with this first.
We'll stick with this one. So then we see Quill. We see the opening of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. We see him singing Redbone, dancing through a cave, sliding on some sludge. And then we have one of the best things in this movie is a hard cut. Whilst we have the song, we have everything. It's amazing. And then we see what he's doing from the perspective of War Machine
from a different
and Nebula.
perspective.
And there's no songs. It's just him going... hey. It's like, he's an idiot.
Such a good moment. Such a good cut.
It's so funny.
Brilliant.
So what they do is they just smash him in the back of the head, knock him out, go in, and they steal the Power Stone. Easy as that.
Super easy. Sort of burns surprisingly easy as well.
Yep.
Very easy.
So that's that.
That is that.
And then they're about to teleport back into their original time. War Machine gets away quickly, but Nebula, for some reason, just locks up and she can't do it. And then we see that Moore has got the past Nebula sort of hooked up on their little interface machine. And he's like, there's another Nebula on the network and she's time-stamped for 5 years in the future.
Yeah.
And they sort of start messing with her mind and they're gonna go for her.
Yep.
Do they get her straight away? Do they just like rock up and take her?
Yeah, she runs back to the ship pod,
and then the ship rocks up,
and then she can't get out. She gets teleported up.
Yep.
And
we come back to that one later.
Yeah, captured by Thanos, and we will leave that there because we have to go to what Thor's doing with Rocket.
Yes.
Depressed, drunk Thor.
In Asgard now.
He's back on Asgard, back in his heyday. Sneaking in to go find Jane, his past... What is it?
His old flame.
His old flame from the past.
Yes.
Get her and... their words, suck the ether out of her.
Suck the ether out of her. That's it.
And then,
easy as that.
That's pretty much it. But of course, he sees his mum and he just freaks out, starts having a panic attack. This is a pretty wrecked version of Thor that we're seeing at this point.
He is at his lowest.
Oh, yes. He runs off. Rocket has to basically do it all himself. And there's this fun moment where at first I thought, no, did they actually get Natalie Portman back for this? No. They didn't. But Natalie Portman's in it, but I feel like this was a deleted scene from
It's just another angle from the movie.
Yeah, it's just like a shot that they didn't use from the Dark World to just place it here.
So Thor has a chat with his mum. Mm-hmm. She gives him counsel. It's lovely.
And it's very, very needed. And I thought this
He
is
needs
nice.
this.
I was wondering.
Okay.
I was wondering why we didn't see Odin, like Anthony Hopkins. I feel like maybe they asked him to come back, but he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm done. Ragnarok was my last one."
Budget was pretty stretched thin. Yeah, I feel.
But at the same time, I feel like it is sweet that he gets a last moment because he got a last moment with his dad.
Yeah,
in Ragnarok.
The dude needs his mum.
Yeah, he needs to have like a final like
Closure.
Closure on his mother. And that's what he gets here. And it's perfect. It's really sweet. She knows what's going on.
Yeah. And then just Rocket all of a sudden is like, I've got it. I got it. Legs it out of the room. He's getting chased.
Oh, but first he summons just to see, just to test, because he's not sure anymore.
Yep.
And Mjolnir comes and he's still worthy, which is a bit of a confidence boost.
Ditches up that timeline's version of Thor because Rocket rocks up with the ether and they teleport the hell out of there.
Tigers off with the ether and the hammer.
Then we come to Ronan and Widow. And they have arrived on the planet that is the same planet that Thanos and Gamora went to get the Soul Stone. And it's almost, already you've got to think, you know how he got the Soul Stone. So
and I watched it last night. I watched Infinity War last night just for preparation.
Yep.
And it is shot for shot what happens like in the darkest moment in Infinity War. One of the darkest moments.
What? I mean, yeah, it's dark, but
okay. One of the most emotional.
Darker.
Yeah, I may have forgotten what happens at the end, hey, shut up. All right, one of the darker moments of that movie. It's shot for shot exactly what happens.
Yep.
And from the very start, you know how this is going to play out. One of them is going to have to be home. Someone's not coming home, and you're like, oh, this sucks. I hope that they can figure out a way to get around that. They don't.
Nope.
They sit up there.
They fight each other.
They do. They sit up there
to figure out who sacrifices.
Yes. First of all, they contemplate it for ages. They're sitting there trying to argue their cases for who should go, who should die, who shouldn't. It's really bittersweet because they both care for each other so much. They would sacrifice themselves, both of them, for each other. Like they're just, one of them has no family, the other does. Anyway, and then they fight, and it's so good because you're like, oh, I had no idea who was gonna. No. I thought Hawkeye was gonna.
Yep, I thought he was gonna get it. That made it worse somehow.
My gosh.
Because Widow gets him at the end, and he's holding on to it, and she's like, "Let me go."
Oh my gosh!
And you're like, "Oh my god, yeah!" And he does. He lets her go.
And here we go. So Black Widow is not coming back.
Nope. Scarlett Johansson is not coming back. Widow is dead on the floor. Oh, and there's like a weird, massive like flash. Mm-hmm. And Hawkeye, we'll call him that now. I feel like he's redeemed himself. Hawkeye wakes up in the pool at the base of the mountain, holding the Soul Stone, and he just cries.
Yeah. Oh,
and
tragic. So tragic. And
brutal,
it's the first time I was like, okay, yep. So there are serious stakes here. This is real.
Yep.
So
then
that
I think it's the 70s next.
Yep. Because that is what? That's 4 of the. No, that's 5. No, 4.
Ether, that one.
Ether.
Scepter.
Scepter, Time Stone.
That's 4.
Power.
So they need to get the Tesseract, and they need to get.
No, that's it. They're just the Tesseract, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Ether, Mind Stone, Time Stone, Soul Stone now, Power Stone. They've got all of them. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So now they need to go and get that the Space Stone that evaded Stark and Ant-Man.
That's right. So Tony says that he knows a place where we can go and get the Tesseract and more Pym particles. Mm-hmm. So they go back to a military base in the 70s.
Yeah.
Firstly, we see the final cameo from the late and amazing Stan Lee.
Oh, yes.
Playing a hippie, driving past the army base saying, make love, not war.
Make love, not war. Beautiful.
Which is beautiful.
So good. The other thing that we get is clear, amendment, like friendships amended now fully. Cap and Stark, the whole do you trust me?
Rolling with each other.
Do you trust me? I do. they go off on a mission together, and this is the facing the past, like, you know, personal demons, I guess.
Yeah.
Their past histories. One has to deal with their dad, the other has to deal with their past flame.
Yep.
In a big way.
Oh, the stuff with Stark and Howard was just
so good.
I loved it.
I loved Howard Stark. I loved Tony Stark's dad asking his son for parental advice,
Which is amazing.
So
and then he
good.
drops a little nugget that his dad probably told him, which is like, money can't
brilliant.
buy a second of time, or whatever it is.
So good. And it's clearly, you know, two of these guys have a history, and
they're practically the same dude.
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
they're each other.
Yeah, exactly. I love this moment. It was just so much. I wonder how much Howard Stark remembers of this moment and starts piecing together and thinking, hey, I met my future son. Because he, I don't know. I wonder if he ever got to the point where he figured it out.
Maybe.
But maybe.
But
this was probably as close to Back to the Future as it gets,
yeah.
with the, you know, running into parents
Yep.
and all this stuff. So yeah, what's happening with Steve?
Steve steals a ton of Pym particles, and then he just gets out of there. Basically, he steals 4. Doesn't need 4, but he steals 4 anyway because he has
Steals a
plans.
couple.
He runs into Peggy. Well, he doesn't talk to her, but he sees her at a distance. And the whole movie, it's showing that he still misses her. Rah rah rah. They keep showing the compass with her face in it. Anyway, he gets the stuff. He gets out of there. He meets Stark upstairs on top of the base, and he says goodbye to Howard. And then they have successfully gotten the Tesseract and the Pym particles, and they return home. Then the last piece is Nebula.
Yes.
I think.
So everything would be fine at this point, but Nebula has been captured by Thanos, and also past Nebula and past Gamora.
Beating the crap out of her.
Yeah, they realize what is happening after they study all the recorded footage from her memory banks.
Yep.
They know the plan. They know what's happening. Thanos sees his fate, sees that he wins, and sees that he also dies. And he also sees that Nebula ends up betraying him. But
he thinks that.
he also sees a great opportunity to get the Infinity Stones now when they're all collected for him.
That's
All he
right.
has to do is use Nebula's trip back
Yep.
to like 5 years into the future?
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah. And he wins 5 years earlier. I think it is. Yeah.
They say that she's time stamped for 5 years in the future.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, great. I'm going to win this way. Nebula, old Nebula, past Nebula takes on this, like, disguises herself as, you know,
New Nebula. Current Nebula.
Current Nebula. And then goes
They all
forward.
return home.
They all return home. Well, she returns, and while the rest of the Avengers are figuring out the Infinity Gauntlet.
That's right. Big success. We have all the stones. Hang on, where's Natasha? Natasha's dead. That sucks. Let's do this for her. We can't bring her back, so let's just do it.
Yeah.
So they build their own Infinity Gauntlet, which looks way cooler than that gold piece of trash.
It's the Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet. It's
That's
fantastic.
exactly right.
So good.
Hulk puts the gauntlet on. And
Because of gamma radiation.
gamma radiation, clicks his fingers and his whole little right arm gets cooked.
Yeah.
And then we don't see anything really.
Well, we see a couple of birds.
Which we
couple
don't
more
see.
birds.
You don't see animals at all in this movie except for Rocket.
Yeah. And so it's like, so there's a bit of life back, and then we get Hawkeye gets a phone call.
In the meantime, Ronan, Hawkeye gets the call from his wife. In the meantime, though, fake Nebula has activated the teleport machine.
Oh, dear.
And transports, not sure how this works. Oh, they shrink the ship. Thanos' ship fires through the quantum teleport gate into the lower atmosphere of Earth.
Boom.
Which then just proceeds to bombard the ever-living crap out of Avengers HQ.
Boom.
And past Thanos is now here.
It is insane. Everyone's buried under rubble. I legit thought Ant-Man was dead for a second there. where he
Yeah.
gets like fully blasted in the face.
He gets cooked.
He gets cooked. I thought that, oh man, we're going to see some casualties. We don't yet, which is
Not yet.
lucky. Everyone's kind of scattered now. We have Thanos sitting there waiting for
Something.
Yeah, for
Waiting
something.
for the Infinity Stones.
Waiting for the Infinity
Ronan-
Stones to come to him.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Hawkeye is
Yeah.
in the basement. He's found the gauntlet.
Yep.
And he's running away from some dog things.
The same things from Infinity War. The last,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, from the Wakanda battle.
What else? Flipping. What's Rhodey's legs?
Walk,
I've now
yeah.
turned off, so he can't walk. So he's crawling to free Rocket. Bloody hell, Rocket, who is pinned under under some rubble.
And who else is there with them?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. No,
Ant-Man's coming to
Ant-Man's
save
not with. It's Groot and
Groot's not there.
not Groot. Sorry, yeah, Rocket and because there's
Rocket
three of
and
them
War Machine.
stuck.
Oh, and Hulk. Hulk's holding the rubble off him.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there waiting
Yeah,
to, basically
that's
drown.
exactly right.
Ant-Man's on the way though, so that's all right.
Ant-Man's on the way, but we'll come back to that. So, what we then see is so awesome. We see the original three who faced off against each other in the first Avengers movie.
Trilogy, guys.
The trilogy boys. We got Iron Man, we got Thor, we got Cap.
Yep.
And they all rock up and they all want to face up against Thanos. Mm-hmm. They exchange some few words.
They know it's a
They're not
trap.
really happy with him. And then off we go. Off to the bloody races.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Everyone is in. They start firing. They're not waiting for Thanos to move.
There are
punches
so
everywhere.
many cool things. Like,
Let's start with the
Iron
coolest.
Man opens his back and says, "Thor, hit me."
Oh,
and
yes.
Thor lightnings him in the back, and then he
Frig.
unleashes massive
So
amounts of
good.
energy.
Nothing's quite working though
They're
until
not getting a good lick in, but
because
then-
also Thor is wielding two weapons now.
Thor's got Mjolnir, Thor's got Stormbreaker,
Stormbreaker.
and he's got a dream. He's
And-
going in
yep.
so hard.
But he gets pinned down.
Yep.
Mjolnir is knocked away, but all of a sudden Mjolnir starts floating.
It floats and it smashes Thanos in the face.
And
it
then who
stops.
catches it?
Bloody Captain America.
Yes!
Which is amazing. Captain America with a shield and Mjolnir is one
So
of the coolest things in this movie.
freaking
I love it so
amazing.
much. And he does the thing, he spins it around and he belts him in the chin.
He's playing baseball with his shield. It's amazing.
When he throws the shield and throws Mjolnir after
so
it.
good.
That's just sick. But it's not
It's
enough.
amazing.
It's not
Anyway,
enough.
Captain is worthy. And it's
Captain
such
is
a
worthy.
payoff
We
to
knew
that
that.
tiny moment in Age of Ultron where he's like just is able to nudge.
Moves it a little bit.
Yep. And
love
because
that
I
scene.
love Thor's reaction. There's I knew it.
Yeah, I knew he was worthy.
It's so good. So that's
still fat,
fantastic.
by the way. Still
There's
fat at
another
this point in the
payoff on that payoff later, but we'll get to that.
Oh, we'll get to that. I've written that down.
Anyway.
Then what
So-
happens next?
Okay.
Then the army rocks up, isn't it?
Yes. Well, he does manage to defeat the three,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes. Severely.
Yeah. Pretty knocks him.
He destroys
on the back.
Cap's shields, which is
Destroys
crazy.
Cap's shield, which is insane. And what does Cap do? He still gets back up because
Gets
he can
back
do
up
this
again.
all
he can
day.
do this all day.
An insanely epic shot, which I'm going to go. Oh man, I hope that they release that because I want that as a
a
desktop
wallpaper?
background
Hell
as a wallpaper.
yes. In
Cap
that
standing
time-
on one
yeah, get
side.
it. You get it. Go.
Oh, or it's just like you're about to say, like the ship opens up, all the soldiers, all the Thanos'
Tanks,
army,
the floating Chitauri worm thing.
his entire armada
Yep.
is coming to
All the crew from the first Infinity War, they all
Yep.
rock up.
everyone. But because basically his whole thing is like, well, I can see that, I thought that wiping out half the population was going to bring peace, but I see that the other half can never come, can never move on.
That's
so I'm
right.
just going to wipe out everything
Yep.
and start again.
In
like-
this time, super side note, we have skipped a little thing.
Yeah.
Past Nebula
Oh, frig,
has
yes.
found, she's caught up with Ronan. Flipping heck. Caught up with Hawkeye and has disabled him and has taken the Infinity Gauntlet. But then past Gamora rocks up and then present Nebula, past Gamora and past Nebula are all facing off. and they're like, they're trying to convince past Nebula that we can stop Thanos. We don't need to do this.
Yeah.
And she is still a loyal servant, and she quickly draws on Gamora, but present Nebula, unlike everyone else's past counterpart, she's faster.
Dude.
And wastes her.
We totally missed another epic moment.
What?
Which was because, like, talking about two versions of the one character facing
The
off
fight
against
between Captain America.
the fight between Cap and
Skip
Cap.
it. Yeah,
Skip it.
We've gone too far.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough.
They fight each other. It's cool.
It is cool. It's very cool. Anyway, moving on.
Yep. So
And too much, like a lot more talk about Cap's butt than I was expecting.
yeah.
But anyway,
So moving
past
on.
that,
Yep.
we get to this moment where it is such a good shot.
It's
and
Captain America facing off against everyone.
defining
it's like the Jon
character
Snow
moment. Yeah, exactly. It's like against all odds, against everything. This one man, not like nowhere near the strongest Avenger, standing there against this entire force, and it's beautiful. It's amazing, and he's ready. He's gonna fight until to the last breath,
and then, whatever it takes.
And then he gets a little bit of feedback in
He
his
gets a bit of feedback in his earpiece.
Yeah.
Who's talking to him real quick?
Suddenly he gets a little Falcon. Falcon
Falcon's
flashback.
dead. It can't be Falcon.
Well, hang on.
What?
Clearly, that click
Shut the
that
front
click
door. It
shut
worked?
the front. It clearly worked.
Goodness me.
And Falcon's there. It's like, Cap, you read me on your left.
Yes. I love
yes.
that bit. On your left.
Freaking
Boom.
good. And
Here
then
he
suddenly behind his left shoulder, Doctor Strange.
You see
portal,
the wheel spinning. You see
wheel
so
thing.
many of those little portals.
All of a sudden, all these holes open
Everyone,
behind
man.
Cap.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, we have.
Well, at this
freaking-
point, Iron Man and Thor are back up. They're with him.
Yeah, they're standing there.
But then
Or they're
portal after
actually
portal
they're
after
just they're
portal
watching
opens.
all these portals. You got Black Panther and the Wakanda crew rock
Panther,
up.
Siri, and that other chick, and all the Wakanda crew. They're doing
Okoye.
their mad chanting.
So good.
Bucky rocks up.
Bucky
all
rocks
of the
up.
Guardians rock up.
Falcon flies through.
Falcon
so
flies
cool.
through. And then we hear thwip thwip. Here comes bloody Spider-Man.
Well, yeah,
Thank
Spider-Man. Before Spider-Man, we have Doctor Strange, the Guardians, and yeah, Spider-Man.
Everyone, man. Everyone is back.
every
There's heaps of
single
ships
freaking
that are
person.
coming through the portals as well.
Yes.
There's armies. It's just epic.
Everyone's because Asgard's there.
Asgard's there.
Like,
Valkyrie's there. The whole crew.
yes, a freaking Pegasus is there.
Yes. I love Pegasus. Pegasi. So good, man.
Everyone
And-
is back. Korg, Meek.
Korg.
Yeah.
And then we see Scott Lang explode through the roof. He's gone big, and he
Boom.
has saved War Machine.
Wasp
and
is
Rocket.
back.
Yeah, cool.
It is cool. Shut
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
needed her.
Scott Lang is big. That is better. I was just,
Lang's big.
'cause, yeah.
And then here we go.
Well, Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts rocks up
Pepper Potts.
in the rescue armor.
Yes.
Which is not what I thought we would see, but I was stoked to see it.
And this is the moment. This is the thing that, the leaks with everyone talking about the one shot with like 60 characters in it. This is it. This is the moment.
It's
the
so
tracking shot along
good.
all of them as they're all lined up, coming
Yes.
down into Cap for his Avengers Assemble.
Assemble, and off we go. And then Thanos was like, sick, let's do it. And
Yeah.
off they go. Both armies are charging at each other.
Oh my
and
goodness.
It's just instant chaos.
Amazing. And it's like,
so good.
I
love seeing Lang. One of the best things from that fight
Yeah.
is Lang just slapping a haymaker on that massive worm thing. Because that was such a problem
Oh,
in the
yeah,
first
that's right.
Avengers.
He just
And he's like,
punches
nah,
him.
bugger you. And smashes his face off.
That was so good. Yeah. Freaking brilliant.
It then
So many
becomes a
good things.
game of we need to get the stones out of here.
Yeah, and I love this because I feel like this is one of those things where you have so many moving pieces in a fight scene, and where like something like Age of Ultron didn't do the best. With this, the Russos kind of knew that you had to have one key thing to
Yeah.
follow, and that is the glove.
The glove.
And
And the
it-
glove allows every hero to
have
their
their moment.
their big moment
Yeah.
without it feeling gratuitous, without
Exactly.
it feeling one hero being overpowered.
And Rachel whispered at this point to me, it was like, she hit the nail on the head. It's like a football game. Like
it's keep away.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they're playing. They're playing keep
after
away
this
on the superhero
footy.
level.
Yeah, they're passing it, they're tagging it. There's there's a lot of
Everything.
forward knocks and all that, but who cares?
Knock-ons, but
It's
that's fine.
knock-ons. Yeah.
Yep, sports guy.
I don't watch the sports.
Yeah, sports.
Yeah. But it feels so good. You're following the action. It's beautiful. It's satisfying. It's so good.
It's epic.
Everyone's getting their reunions as well, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Beautiful moment with Stark.
Stark and Peter was just gorgeous. I love
So
it.
good. And a little bit of an explanation for what the other characters have experienced on their side.
Yeah, it felt like no time for them at all.
And I just wake
And
up.
Doctor Strange was there.
I must have passed out, but then I came back and Doctor Strange is like, oh, it's been 5 years. We got to go here.
Yeah, he needs us. And then they rock up and be like, well, hang on, what actually happened?
Yeah. I like that we got that. I'm glad. That's all we needed.
There's a very, very cool moment where it looks like the heroes are winning. The Avengers are doing great. Parker's hauling Krev. He's got his weird spider legs that are stabbing everything. T'Challa, Black Panther rocks up. He's like, give it to me. And he takes the glove and he's getting away. And then Valkyrie's helping. It's just so good.
Falcon
Thanos
gets a cool
is
move
getting
as well.
his ass handed to him by a very angry Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
And she is proving
Frig.
frightful how good she is.
Oh,
and
man.
just when it looks like he's about to die, like she's about to execute this thing, he's like, fire all the guns.
What
And then
about
he
our enemy? What about our
bugger 'em.
soldiers? Yep.
Nah, stuff ya, fire. So all the ground cannons on the ship open fire. It becomes absolute chaos out there until one very unique member,
Now,
newest member, hasn't
Before
arrived.
this,
Okay.
did it happen before or after this point? The payoff with the Mjolnir Stormbreaker.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
that happened before this.
Yeah.
Get it.
So good. Yeah. So another great moment. I feel like the best moments happen, like in the best fight moments happen with Cap and
Thor. Cop
and
with
it's
the
like
beard.
payoff. Yeah. Even like that one shot in the first Avengers kind of pay back to that when they're like fighting side by side.
What about that one shot, the opening of the second Avengers, when they're all running, all the Hydra agents are running towards them, and it's like, they're just excited. And then he hits Mjolnir off the shield and knocks them all down.
It's so good. They're just,
They just team up really well.
So cool team
Hammer
up. This
and
is great.
shield combo.
Yep.
Epic.
So Cap somehow manages to get Stormbreaker. Thor has Mjolnir. They look at each other and Thor's like, no, you give me that. You give me that. You have the small one.
You get the small one.
So freaking brilliant. So good. These
we
two
also
guys.
have a moment where Peter Quill's flying around shooting people, and then he sort of gets taken down, but then he gets saved by Gamora.
Yes.
And he has a moment where it's like, oh my gosh, I thought I lost you. And he starts sort of touching her face. But this isn't the same Gamora that was in love with him. This is just old Gamora. And she smashes him twice in the nards and knocks him down.
You didn't get that the first time, but you got both.
He got both the second. And then Nebula rocks up and sort of says that this is who you fall in love with. And he is an idiot.
He's an idiot. Yes, I know.
So anyway,
So good.
hard cut back, ship's opening fire. It's absolute chaos out there. Parker is like in a ball on the ground, not wanting to die. But then all of a sudden, all of the guns face up.
Yep.
And start opening fire.
What are they shooting at?
Like, what the hell are they shooting at? Bright flash through the sky, and the ship is just ripped in half. And good old Captain Marvel has returned. And weirdly enough, they used her in this movie so well that I liked Captain Marvel from this movie more than the Captain Marvel movie made me like Captain Marvel.
I feel like they used her sparingly, and that was a good move.
Yeah,
because
she
it
rocks
also
up, destroys the ship. It's epic. Hits the ground right in front of Parker, and Parker's like, "Hi, I'm Peter," and she's like, "Hey, Peter, you got something for me?"
the same thing. Like they explained her whereabouts heaps well as well. So you're not
just
sitting
covering
there
so
thinking
much territory.
Yeah, you're not sitting there thinking, where the heck is Captain Marvel? Why doesn't she just come in?
Yeah, even that one line where it's like, I'm covering thousands of planets, and these planets don't have you guys.
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
You know what?
That's fair enough.
A fair point.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I think this is a great way to use her, and I hope it kind of goes a long way to, strengthen
Getting her
her
back in a
character,
good
because I
face,
know
yeah.
that some people didn't like her. Yeah, your hands up. I enjoyed Captain Marvel, but yeah, I love her in this. This is fantastic.
It was
well
very,
done.
very good. Then,
Anyway.
Then we have an actually really, really cool moment. And it didn't feel forced, and I'm kind of glad they did it. It was,
A little bit,
she
but-
gets the glove,
The female team up.
the female team up, and we saw a
Yeah.
little bit of it in Infinity War. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
in Infinity War. But it's
This
bigger
is-
now.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's sick. We got Wasp.
Yeah.
We got Rescue. We've got...
man.
No, I was gonna say Black Widow. Whoops. We got Scarlet Witch. We got
Everyone but Black Widow.
we got Black Panther's friend again.
Okoye.
Got a name. Okoye.
Yep.
Who else is there? It's a lot. It's a big crew.
Black Panther's sister.
Shuri's there.
Shuri. Did you say
that's kinda
Valkyrie? Did you say Valkyrie?
Valkyrie. Didn't say
Yep.
Valkyrie. Valk's there.
Or Wasp. All of them.
I said Wasp.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And-
whatever. And
yeah.
they're gonna cover her.
Oh.
And it was rad. It was really
It's
cool.
so cool.
It's a cool
So
moment.
awesome. Kicking butt. Freaking Pepper Potts. Did you say Pepper Potts?
I said Rescue.
Oh, Rosie. Okay. There
And
you
it's
go,
one
I
of
missed
those
that.
things. It's like superhero movies can be a bit of a sausage fest. So I think
Yeah.
this is a good moment. It's
sure.
cool.
It means like,
Forced or not, loved it.
for sure. I feel like at this point it was like, yeah, I kind of like they're putting them all in the one scene. They could have like done their own separate awesome things at this point, but we have definitely focused on the male characters
Yeah.
a lot more in this movie so far. So
But there was one moment, and I love it because, like, it's no secret. Big, huge Iron Man fan. I've actually gone back after the movie. I came
Yeah.
home and I went on there because I have like the Marvel app or whatever, and I've got a lot of comics through
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, where's Iron Man up to right now? And I'm just bored of ton. Bought like $40 worth of comics.
holy crap.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm committing.
Man.
And there's a moment where it's him, it's Stark,
Yeah.
Potts, and War Machine up
Yeah.
in the sky, ripping around, blasting each other up, like blasting everything apart. And you're like, there's three of them.
Oh, it's so
cool.
good. Did you notice that War Machine's back in his Patriot armor?
I did notice that.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I was.
Which is a shame because his armor at the beginning was awesome.
Yeah, but
That weird
also
like black and grey.
it did get wrecked in the like underground,
Which
when
makes
they
no
got-
sense.
How does it not make sense?
Why would it get wrecked?
He was crushed.
So?
Like it was fully frying and sitting like while he was sitting there. Remember, he had
that's
to like
right.
he,
was
put
pin-
himself
yeah,
out.
sorry.
Yeah.
Canopy protocol or whatever.
hang
yeah,
on.
sorry. Forgot all about that. Did you pull your headphone? He pulled his headphone cable out. I could say whatever I want about Dean. What a tool. Hey, man.
I sat on the cord and it put
Classic.
out. Freak. What did you
so
say?
Anyway, no, nothing. I didn't say anything. So Carol has the glove
Yeah.
and they're going to protect her. They're going to get
Yes.
her to the disgusting Pym van. And she's almost there. Thanos, though, he clues in as to what they're going to do, and he hurls the rest of his sword into the back of the van, blows it up, and the glove gets knocked into the open. Now it's fair play. It's close to Thanos. So Danvers starts going toe-to-toe with him, and he's still pretty bloody strong.
He
and
is.
She holds up very well.
She does.
She gives him a red-hot go, and then everyone's just trying to keep this glove off him.
There was a fantastic moment where he headbutts her, and she just like she
stops
doesn't
moving. She doesn't
doesn't
flinch.
react. It's like
Yeah.
what?
But then he rips
Freaking crazy.
hang on. So she gets knocked away. Stark rocks up and he's trying to keep it off him. Thor rocks up and he's trying to keep the glove off him. Doesn't work. Thanos
not working.
puts the glove on, and just before he can click, Carol rocks up, grabs the arm. Thanos headbutts her. She
Yeah.
doesn't react. Thanos then rips the Power Stone out of the gauntlet and holds it in
Uses
his
that.
hand and just sends her to oblivion. Smashes her away.
Crazy.
Put the stone back in the glove.
Now,
does
here's
the
the
repower.
moment.
Okay.
Because we and so like we need to reference what happened previous where Iron Man, Doctor Strange is back,
Okay.
and Iron Man questions him. He was like, "You said there was one scenario where we won or where we could win this. Is this the one?"
Okay.
And he's like, "If I
Can't
tell
tell
you
you.
what happens,
Yeah.
it won't happen."
Probably don't need to reference it just
Yep.
because nothing comes of that
Well,
conversation.
it does because at this point, and this is kind of the point where you realize, oh, this is actually why he didn't tell Stark what's going to come, because
Holy crap.
remember
I didn't even
because
think of that.
yeah,
Because
because
he's
when
the
he
one who's going down.
because then there's he looks over at Stark. Stark
him
looks
this
at
is
Strange and is like, this is the one, but then
So-
that one finger also means one sacrifice. And Stark realized, well,
I
that's
think it
what
just
has,
means that this is the one. This is the one.
I feel like that. Yes,
I don't think it means
I
sacrifice.
feel like there's I picked up on I probably just putting a double
Yeah.
meaning on it, but it totally, to me, it was like, to bring everyone back, one person has to bite it, and that is unfortunately, and Stark realizes at that moment,
Yeah.
that's him.
That's it.
And he tries to grab the gauntlet
The
himself.
gauntlet. Doesn't work. Thanos
doesn't work.
throws him away and he clicks his fingers and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Because all the gems are gone.
Cut over
And,
to Stark, who's sitting there putting the gems in his own glove.
Yep. Which is awesome. Nanotech. Such
Yeah.
a cool suit.
So cool. And it totally makes sense. It's like, I love it. That's very cool.
And Stark has the power. He, survives the power transfer.
Now-
and
What happens? Well, what does Thanos say at this point? He says something.
he goes, I am inevitable.
I'm inevitable. That's
and then
right.
Iron Man looks at him and he goes,
Yeah.
I
am.
Iron Man. And clicks his hand, and then you just start to see all of Thanos' army turn to dust. Not just his army, all the ships, all of the dead things,
Everything.
Thanos looks around and he can't believe his eyes. And
Everything
he sits back down on that stone.
came through the portal.
That's it.
Everything that
And
came through.
He sits down on the stone, and he turns to dust. Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Everything.
it is the
dead.
same shot from Infinity War, from the end of Infinity War, where we wrap around Thanos to see his face.
Totally.
And but this time he is lost.
He's a dust boy.
The Avengers have won with
The sacrifice.
big sacrifice.
Huge sacrifice, and we see that the click has taken a massive, massive toll on Tony Stark. He sits down, Parker runs up to him and he's crying and he's like, everything's going to be okay, we can do this, and he's not in a good way. And then Potts rocks up. And I'm getting teary thinking about this. Potts rocks up to him and says, everything's okay, you can rest now. And he does.
He does.
And he's dead. Tony Stark has sacrificed his life and saved everyone.
The end of a 10-year journey.
End of a 10-year journey. The guy
11.
who started it all.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it for Stark. And it's emotional. It's sad.
It's so much. Dude, I'm still tearing up.
I teared up.
I
was
teared
bad.
up when Widow died, but I was just in a constant state of blur.
Oh, man. Just because then cutting to the funeral
Yeah.
after this
Yeah.
and having all... Wait, did we miss anything?
No, it doesn't go to the funeral straight away. It goes to the hologram that he made.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is just talking to his family, saying that he records this thing just before they do the quantum jump.
Yeah.
And that he's like, you know what, whatever, we're going to be fine.
So
It's cocky.
yeah.
It's very Stark.
It's voiceover over all the good news that's happened. And this is also
That's
interesting
right.
because it means
beautiful.
that we all thought that they were going to reverse time and go back to where it is. No, there have been 5 years
Yep.
canonically
just
in this
picks up.
story. And it's just like everyone appears after that 5-year gap, which is
Which
going
I
to be
reckon
interesting.
is probably why in Far From Home,
Yeah.
that's why he goes overseas, where you're like, it's just chaos here.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be chaos everywhere.
It would be chaos everywhere. But it's also like, it's kind of like now Earth can make amends, but it also still makes what Thanos did real. And like the consequences, the consequences for his actions, like were real. That none of that got erased,
No.
but they just were brought back. But
Yeah, there's a nice moment.
Yeah.
The hologram with Stark. Yeah, and all the voiceovers we see Parker hug his friend.
Yep.
We see families reunited. We just see
the
all of Wakanda
family. Yep.
is cheering. They're celebrating. Everyone's celebrating. It's a massive celebration.
And then we cut back to the
We
funeral.
hard cut to the Stark household.
Yep.
And winter
Tony's
is
sitting there. Oh man, and frig, this is it got
daughter.
me. It got me the daughter thing. This is where I was
Love You
really tearing up.
3000.
Oh, far out.
As I would imagine, as someone who has a daughter, it would have been a lot harder to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was
It was insane. But
very emotional.
then we do another hard cut and we
Yeah.
see it's nice water. We see
Yeah.
a bouquet of flowers floating across the water, and sitting on top of it is the Gen 1 arc reactor with this with the text, proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Can we skip through this as fast as possible? That'll be great.
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
really appreciate it.
So anyway, everyone's sort of bidding farewell to Tony.
Yeah.
We start cutting through. Everyone is on the dock. They're wishing him best wishes. Also, side note, there was a kid there when they were making their way through. I'm like, who the hell is that? I figured it out.
guy from Iron Man 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Harley Keener from Iron Man 3, which was just beautiful. Everyone's there. Carol's there. Fury, we finally see, is back. And then after that, there is a nice little conversation between Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch. All of Hawkeye's family's there as well. Sorry, don't want to skip over that. That was great.
They're back.
They're back. What happens after that?
Everyone's like, they were still lost because they're talking about the people they have lost.
The
Because
ones that can't come back.
Scarlet Witch is sitting there. Vision can't come back.
Nope.
Hawkeye's sitting there. Black Widow can't come back.
Quill's kind of bummed out because Gamora's not coming back. But Gamora's also back. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see.
Gamora's not back
What?
at all.
Did she die then?
She would have disappeared as well.
I don't know. She seemed to have turned. Remember?
Was she actually there? Was she standing there?
She wasn't physically there, but I don't see why she wouldn't be alive. She could come back in the next Guardians.
But as a version of herself that doesn't remember anything from
which is a funny
the other
dynamic.
movie. It could be. I don't remember her being there though.
She wasn't at the funeral, but
was she
I
on the
don't
ship?
think she's dead.
She wasn't on the ship either.
She was on the ground because she saved Quill, remember?
Yeah, but she wasn't on the ship at the very end. I feel like she's not coming back.
I think she's doing some soul searching, or she's with Nebula.
Okay. I would like that.
Maybe they just travel as sisters.
Yeah, but I feel like, or maybe they journey after her. And maybe that is the story of Guardians, to try to find Gamora.
There is a fun little bit where is it Steve or Guardians first? Which bit happens?
Well, I was
Let's do Steve
before
last.
I was gonna talk about the big nod that I'm not sure if you remember or not, the cheeseburger nod.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, all the way back to the very start.
Yep.
And
The
it's
daughter Morgan is in the arms of Hogan.
Happy. Yep.
And he's like, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "I'm hungry." And he's like, "Well, what can I get you? I'll get you anything." And she's like, "Cheeseburgers." And then he says, "I'll get you all the cheeseburgers you can eat."
Your dad loved cheeseburgers
Your dad
too.
loved cheeseburgers.
Oh man. And I feel like that one was for the hardcore fans, right?
Oh
there.
yeah,
It was like right back. That was so good.
that was
But
epic.
oh man, quite emotional. I'm very interested to see what happens with Happy and the crew in Far From Home, because we know that they're all in it.
Yeah,
But now it looks like he's a bit of a godfather to to the
I wonder
daughter.
if they'll show more of the Stark family
Yeah, maybe.
if they've gone to the effort to give him a daughter.
Oh man. Well, I feel like also because doesn't he have a daughter, or like doesn't Stark's daughter become Iron Man in the comics? Does she? Or is it like something?
Maybe.
Possibly.
I'm not too sure.
Anyway, beautiful moment. So sweet and sad. And then we go and see what the rest of the Avengers are going to be up to. We cut to Thor
I love it.
in New Asgard.
Yep.
Is handing over the reins to Valkyrie. He's like, "You're going to be a better king or queen for Asgard. I'm going to go, be who I am, and and I'm not ready to be king. I don't want to be king, so I'm going to go off with the Guardians of the Galaxy."
The Asgardians of the galaxy. And there is still the power play between Quill and Thor. And there's even that bit at the end where they're both like, we all know who's in charge. And they both kind of laugh. And then Quill's like, me?
It's like, yes, of
and then
course.
He looks at him, but he looks at him, he's like, yes, of course you.
Of course you.
And then it stares at him intently.
I
So
love that
if
it's like-
they team up, for the next movie, I cannot wait. And
So
James
good.
Gunn's back. So yes.
James Gunn's back. Thor is it's going to be so good. But this time, Quill isn't the fat one.
No, Quill's not the fat one. He doesn't have the body of a god on him.
Clever twist
This
on that.
is a man.
Oh, that's going to be such a fun dynamic to explore later on. And if it's all about finding Loki or Gamora in number 3, that would be really interesting.
Absolutely.
Be quite cool.
What happens after that?
What else do we see?
There's one
We
final
see
thing.
Steve Rogers, Cap. We need to get back. We need to get those Infinity Stones back to their times.
Absolutely.
To keep the timeline going straight. So they're loading him up with pin particles. They've got a plan. we're going to zap him back, count to 5, and then bring him back.
That's right.
So I'll see you guys in a minute. And then this was the point. I was like, I see where this is going.
I was so happy when this was happening. I was like, yes.
I was happy, but then there was a little part of me that wasn't, because like, well, damn, I need to pay you $10.
Yeah, bloody do. And we're going to get to that in a second. I've got that written down.
At the same time, like I knew that this was going to happen. I expected Thor to die and not Iron Man.
Yeah.
And the arm thing, I agree. That was stupid.
There was a lot of destroyed arms in this movie, though.
There
I'll
were.
give you that.
There were. But you see why? Like, because I actually thought I had it for a moment there. I was like, maybe he survives and he just loses his arm in this. But nah. So well done. You got it. And then we all.
So what
I think
happens
we all
with Cap?
agreed on this bit. The fact that he goes back in time to hand the stones back, and they count to 5, and he doesn't show up.
He doesn't come back. He's
what's going
overshot
on?
his time.
What's going on? Yeah. Bucky knows what's up.
Oh, he knows before he even leaves.
Yeah, he knew exactly what was going on. He
He's
knew,
like,
he was like,
I'll see you around.
we're not getting Cap back. He's the
only one that knows.
He was always, his life was always back with Peggy.
Yeah,
He
and
never,
they show that a lot in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. He was never able to move past that. He was never able to put down roots in the current time. And
Not even with her daughter. Which is wild because
niece,
really hot.
niece,
Whatever.
niece.
I don't care.
That's, but yeah, you're right. That was a bit weird. Imagine that. Like in that alternate timeline, they're sitting around the dinner table. It's like, oh, my sister's having a daughter. It's like, oh yeah, I kissed her once.
Oh. How did you two meet? Oh, I dated her gran.
Oh man, that would be interesting. But
Yes.
yeah. So basically, all of a sudden, Bucky's like, "Hey, look over there. There's somebody sitting down on a bench just off from where they are in the forest, looking over the lake." So they realize what's up. Really great moment where Falcon goes over to investigate. He's like, let's go talk to this guy. Comes around. We all know who it is. It's Old Man Rogers.
Old man
Sitting
Steve.
there. Old Man
Peaceful,
Steve.
happy.
Lived a life well lived.
A life very well lived. He was happy.
Sitting there. He was very happy.
Yep.
And, they're a bit bummed that they don't get Cap anymore.
Like we've got one.
But, yeah, that's it.
Pulls
So
the
I'm
shield.
just-
Shield
And
out
this
of the
was-
backpack and gives it to Falcon.
Beautiful tribute to something that happens in the comics as well. And I was
Yes.
wondering, because at certain different times, both Bucky and Falcon have had the Captain America mantra, haven't they?
Mantle.
Mantle, sorry. They've had the mantle. Not the, both of them have had the shield and had the Cap mantle at times in the comics. And so this, going forward, Falcon is going to be Captain America.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful moment. And then we cut to the last scene. We get to see a little bit of what Steve Rogers got up to in his new timeline. And he finally gets his dance with Peggy.
I
In
love
a little
that.
house, little quaint, happy life,
That's it.
dancing in the living room. And that is where the movie ends.
Which is a beautiful ending.
My
There
gosh.
is no post-credit scene in this movie.
There is not. Sorry, sorry, Jason, who's probably listening to this.
Yeah, we
thinking,
told
"You
Jason there
bastards."
was, but there isn't. We just think it's funny. So
Yeah.
and I'm very keen to get back on board with the practical jokes.
Oh, man.
After some
Yes.
stitching ups that's happened in Shazam, but that's
Oh
fine.
man, after and once Jason gets his priorities straight and gets back on this podcast,
After he stops having babies and ruining our projects.
He stops trying to be a good dad and
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
decides to be a good podcast host instead.
Nah, I got a better one here anyway. But that's how the movie ends. That is how 11
debatable.
years of MCU ends. And I've just got to say, hats off. They absolutely nailed it. I'm not going to clap, but that's horrible
Well,
for
I
audio,
am, and you
but
can cut that out,
I'm not.
sucker.
I'm going to cut barely any of this out. I want to get it done.
Oh man,
Yeah, it was just excellent. It was absolutely stellar. I
yep.
could not be happier with how that movie ended. So
well done, Marvel. Well done, Russos.
everyone.
Well done, Kevin Feige. Yeah, well done.
And the closing, they do a whole like every main character or main-ish character in all of the 11 years
The big
had
six.
their own little moments on screen, like with their name and a cool scene of them from the movies. But then you get to the big six, and they have their own signatures written on the screen, and
the OGs.
Large and in charge. the final six get a very wonderful send off.
Yeah.
And that was the icing on the cake.
Now, here's the thing. The Russos, and totally makes sense after seeing it, and we can definitely confirm, this was definitely Steve and Tony's film.
Yep.
This was Iron Man and Cap centric.
Yeah, it should have been.
It should have been. It was great. These guys are the foundation of everything, pretty much.
Yep.
It's so good that
started it all.
So both their stories are done, and we're not going to see them again.
Which is fine, and they both go out in lovely ways,
They do.
albeit one of them a little bit more sad.
Yeah. Now, question: what happens now? What do you think?
I honestly don't know. I think Far From Home is what's going to show. I thought we were going to see maybe something from Doom, maybe something from Galactus, maybe a hint as to what the next main villain will be. But if it follows anything like Phase 1, we're not going to know who that villain is until... Like, we didn't know it was Thanos for a good while.
Well...
We didn't know... Well, we didn't know
end
in
of the
Iron
first
Man.
Avengers. Yeah,
It's Phase 1, isn't it?
I see what you mean, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
This is the new era. We'll probably get a couple more answers with Homecoming, maybe.
Yeah. I think because they've just gotten Fantastic Four back, I reckon
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Yep.
Because they've got the Fantastic Four, I reckon they're going to be doing Doom next.
Yeah.
And then
X-Men.
after Doom, well,
They've got-
yeah, but whatever.
Well,
After Doom, it'll be Galactus.
yeah. Fair enough. Do you know Ryan Reynolds is confirmed to be still playing Deadpool in this new MCU canon?
He's
hear
not
that? He actually is.
MCU.
No, okay. So there's a bit of a backstory with that. There's theories as to why, because everyone knew the Fox Disney deal was coming, and they basically, like, because the Deadpool movies are going to remain the Deadpool movies like we know, but the theory is that they did the whole Once Upon a Deadpool movie just to see how Deadpool could play in a PG-13 movie and if he could still be funny, so that when he does come into the future Avengers movies and plays with the other characters, he can still be funny Deadpool, but he doesn't have to swear and do all that crazy crap. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But he is confirmed to be staying on as Deadpool in this new MCU, so that's cool.
That is cool.
We also have Guardians 3 in the works. We have a Black Widow origin story.
Yes.
So we get to see Scarlett Johansson one more time.
And more Hawkeye, probably.
More Hawkeye. We also have the Falcon and Bucky spin-off, which I'm really excited about now.
Yes.
If one of them's
that's gonna be
Cap.
awesome.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a Loki one. There's a Loki movie as well.
Yes. Which is, so all these new things. And also, but then there's a Scarlet Witch and Vision TV show apparently happening.
I'm worried they're going to oversaturate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but they're pushing TV shows more than movies for future now. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. At the moment, there's not. I don't think there's a Doctor Strange 2. But apart from that, there's not that much more that we know.
No,
for the future.
We're now along for another ride if people decide to stay on board with them.
Yes. Anyway, I think we should wrap this up.
I would very much love to.
We've been talking for ages. I could talk about this for so much longer, but you do not want to listen to us talk.
So, important things. Dean,
Yes.
out of five birds, what are you giving it?
I'm quite tempted to give this a 5-bird rating.
Wow.
Really?
5 birds? Really?
4.5, 5 birds.
Well, you got to give me a number. You
freak.
tell me, mate. This is your answer.
Look, again, okay, I'm going to go. It's a personal thing.
Yep.
Just so much satisfaction out of this movie. 5 birds. I'm giving it a 5-bird.
Hot dogs. Wow.
Yeah.
5 birds.
What about you?
I'm giving it 5 birds. I loved it. It was epic. I could think of no better way to end this.
Yeah.
So 5 birds easily from me, and also a crisp $20. Because if you look back at the bets that we made, I could not have nailed it harder. Iron Man is dead, and Cap lives out in the past. $20 to Paul.
Well
So
done,
I
sir.
am 5 birds and $20.
You also had
richer.
the most vague
Yes,
theory,
that's
though.
right. Vague one, didn't it?
Freak.
Tell that to my $20.
I'm going to give
right.
you a vague $20.
That's right. It's just going to be all in dollar coins. It might be $20. I don't know. Count it, douche.
$10, 10 cents. I don't know. It's one of them. There's a 10 in there.
There's a 10 there. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed the movie as well. If you did, slap something on the Facebook. We are across most of the big social medias. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's Nerds Before Birds on Facebook and Insta, and Nerds Before Bird on Twitter. We have a Patreon as well. If you'd like to financially support the podcast, that just helps keeps the mics hot and the seats warm. That's patreon.com/Nerds Before Birds. If you can't financially contribute, totally fine. Even just leaving good reviews on this podcast will really, really help. Get us some traction, get us a bit of exposure, get us a little bit more. Just get us out there a little bit more. Gets your nerds flying.
Yeah. Which is what you want.
Yep, that's it. Enjoy the movie. Go and see it multiple times. Support a franchise that's kind of struggling. So that's a bye from me.
Doesn't have much of an audience. See ya. I'm off to see it again.
Yeah, boy.
See you later.
See you guys.